Привет, I'm Solid.
Hey there, I'm Zombie Food.
Yo, I'm Rummy.
Hey guys, I'm E6.
Hello there, I'm Fat Crow.
Hi guys, I'm Unnommable.
Baby, I was born this way.
Oh, hey, I'm Laps. Welcome to the WGLNA.
Everybody, welcome back to the WGLNA. 2 matches are over. 2 matches remain. The next one is going to be Hammer Time versus Penguin Mafia. And that was a close call. I was getting a little bit, not furious, but a little bit of a fire was rising inside. The fire rises.
Oh, gosh.
I was just getting a little bit concerned because the biggest thing I really don't like when I see professional teams play this game is having poor time management.
But what
I needed to pump my brakes a little bit, because it was a great play by Simple Tinkers in the end.
that was what I had to respect. I really loved seeing a play that I could instantly know, like, exactly what it was, where it was coming from my third person, but the opponent wasn't going to be able to perceive that. It was from a different perspective, completely different scenario for them. I really want to review that one, and that's going to be one of my highlights, I think, that it's great for teaching tactics to other people who are learning this game, because it is so comprehensive, but still at the same time works on so many levels. It's
just that pounce. That pounce was so great.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going to do that, and I was watching it get set up going, if you're going to do this, do it now. Go now. Get to the chapter. Sorry, enough quotes. Enough quotes, guys. Okay, these two teams, Hammer Time is quite the history. Penguin Mafia, part of that freshman class, joining us for the first time. So this is going to be an uphill battle for them. But as always, we want to hear from you on social media. So make sure to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, Facebook.com/WGLNA, and use that hashtag WGLNA so we can find your tweets and put them up on the broadcast.
And of course, question of the day, which is the most balanced tank in World of Tanks and why? Tell us.
140 characters. You have the opportunity to tell us. And we're getting a lot of tweets in. Thank you so much for sending in those responses. And also, if you have any questions about 7x54, how World of Tanks works, all that stuff, we'll be happy to answer them for you. You can send us tweets as well, and also at WGLNA. I'm looking forward to this matchup, Randall, because Penguin Mafia, this may be the last time we see him in this broadcast, at least for this season.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little bit disappointing. I was having high hopes for Penguin Mafia, but I think that it looks like the contrast is such that when you face teams of this caliber, it doesn't matter how close you are, like to just about reaching that gold level. There's going to be people in this league who just can't seem to get it because other teams, a little bit better than them, a little bit better. They have a few close matches here and there, but they're just not able to keep it
together, keep the momentum. The Gold League is the refiner's fire for a lot of teams. And if they can't make it through the first time, they definitely have a number of shots, a number of opportunities, either through the Silver League or through relegation, to join us again in Season 6. With that said, we welcome both the team representatives in the face-off. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Liebestad, let's start with you. Hammer Time has been a team that's been with us in Season 2. You guys are in that final push right now to make it to the playoffs, currently in 3rd place. Have you been watching Cunningham's and Simp waiting for the opportunity to overtake their standings?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I've been talking about the last 2 times I've done this face-off. I've been saying we're going to catch Cunningham's if they slip up, and both those times we lost. So, unfortunately...
So we're not going to say that. We're not going to say that anymore.
well, okay, good, for good luck. But the thing is, we've pretty much almost definitely blown that opportunity. I mean, barring a collapse by either Cunningham's or Simp, we can't catch them anymore. We still want to maintain our position in 3rd place. Keeping a higher seed in the playoffs gives us a slight edge, so we want to win as much as we can. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to catch them. So hopefully, now that I'm saying something pessimistic, I won't jinx it and we'll win. So
yeah, just knock on wood.
All right, Liebestad, always good to see you. Let's check in with your opponent from Penguin Mafia. We got Canadian Cracker joining us tonight. Canadian, quite the thrill ride for Penguin Mafia. Some ups and some downs. Unfortunately, at the bottom of the standings. The morale of the team right now. Your thoughts on your experience with the Gold League?
I think a lot of the season has just come down to a lack of practice for the most part. I mean, tonight was the first night we actually broke down the map before we got into the game here tonight.
Okay, so I'm sure that'll make a difference.
Now, actually, your team seems like it's made to perform well. You've got players like Gigmaster who have experience. You have Armor, players that we recognize play Zero, players that we recognize and have a history with the league. I'm not even mentioning everyone else, but what about the team has not clicked or not gotten you guys maybe motivated to do that extra bit? Like, what is it?
A lot of the teams, like expectations when they first went in was just they didn't really want to practice that much. It was a lot of team battles against random teams and all this other stuff. And once you start playing for a team a bit and you start losing games, the motivational train, if you would, starts to get a bit derailed. And I think that's been our biggest issue for the second half of the season is just the motivation wasn't there for a lot of players, and it just really kept us down.
What are the plans for Penguin Mafia after the season is over, Canadian Cracker?
We're looking at taking it a lot more seriously. That's the biggest change we're making. We're going to start doing scrimmages. We haven't done a scrimmage all season long, like not against a single team, Silver League, Gold League, whatever. It's just been, Gold League tonight. Let's log in. Let's play.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you have, as Randall said, a lot of talent on your team. But tonight, do you have any words for your opponents before we start this battle?
Good luck. Have fun. We're going to bring it to you tonight. We're going to look at taking it seriously. And let's see if we can make it a hard fight to those finals.
All right. Any words, Lieberstad?
Well, I just wish they didn't start practicing until after they played us. I mean, these teams, they start practicing right before they're going to play Hammer Time. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because we're famous or something. Everyone wants to beat us. But yeah, good luck.
Welcome to the price of fame. Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you on the battlefield. They are famous. Hammer Time is a team that's been with us for quite some time, and they've been in that top 8.
Yeah, and
definitely.
And then immediately when Canadian Cracker was telling me about what was happening with Penguin Mafia, I thought, that sounds a lot like a lot of other teams we've seen in the past. That sounds like Timed Out earlier this season, the team that was having many of the same struggles.
Yeah.
Teams like Refuse to Die, who, although I think Refuse to Die was a situation of practice, just not performance. Teams like Bernal Empires actually had rough seasons like that in the past where they couldn't get a win and they just didn't look any good. It was just hard to watch them at times. And then they dropped out, they came back. And
turned the corner.
Exactly. They turned the corner, they turned it around instantly. This was a different Bernal Empires. It was what you saw, the potential of what you saw, but finally realized, where you saw these skilled players and these tactics come together and these plays and the synergy and all the basics, everything.
Place your bets right now, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of every single battle, you have the opportunity to place your bets. It's real simple. Ask the people in chat. Badco and the rest of the moderators are standing by. You always start with 10 points, even if you lose all your points in a battle. And check out the leaderboards, WGLConnect.com. And there we have the rosters, Randall. Looking forward to seeing how Drynets and Overlord Prime is going to perform tonight from Hammer Time.
Yeah, Canadian Cracker, of course, is going to be here tonight. I want to see him make a good showing. He was the one who managed to show up for the face-off. Got to give him credit for that.
And Wolf Knife Laser Bacon, a name that you and I will never forget.
Not for my entire life. I'm going to be old, 90. Should be like, back in my day.
Wolf Knife Laser Bacon. Match 3, Battle 1, Hammer Time versus Penguin Mafia, happening on Prorovka. Randall, what do we have for tanks?
Well, we've got 2 T-32s, a 1390, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs for Hammer Time, who will start this defending. Attacking in the blue, Penguin Mafia will have 2 T-32s, a single 1390, 3 RU-251s, and a 5916 played by Triumph, the Insult Tanker.
Big fan of Triumph. Loved his skits. Not the Tanker, the Insult comic dog, but great to have the Tanker joining us as well.
I want to see him talk about World of Tanks. That would be awesome.
All right, here comes the opening movement from the attackers. Armor heading towards the west. We got a tweet coming in from Meadowhawk.
Oh my god, you guys, just starting to watch the @WGNLA feed. Rookhill totally got my message. We're totally #twinsies. Hooray. And yes, Meadowhawk, I did get your tweet, and I did dress accordingly.
The red power tie, black shirt can never go wrong. Armor is spotted, and he gets lit up for 417. Return fire against Drynets for 220, but armor is low as he moves up to the front. Wolf Knife Laser Bacon is trying to give him some pressing fire, but it's not enough as they could be caught off guard. Nitz fires back against Wolf Knight, but more fire coming into Drynets, taking some significant damage here.
Yeah, he is just taking so much damage. He needs to be able to back off, but I think, yes, he is tracked. He's repaired. He can get to safety. He was just stuck out
Ooh, barely.
a little bit. He burned his kit earlier when he took the initial shell, which actually hit track, dealt no damage. But, I mean, you get a little spooked.
You do. It becomes second nature. As soon as you know your track's in trouble, you'll repair it, and it's...
The hardest thing is to take the next step beyond that and know when it's actually... and be able to judge, you know what, I actually should hold on to it.
And Drynets falls, but Wolf Knife is going to get punished for it. Zazu's going to fire back here, but look at the amount of damage against Wolf Knife. He's going to fire... Oh, he barely dodges that shot, and now Repressed Memory's going to take some hits. And now Armor's going to take some hits. So 3 tanks are significantly low on hit points here, but Nitz does fall into the north section.
And they keep firing. Overlord Prime has actually a great position. He's behind a rock, not a huge distance between him and the opponent. He doesn't have to worry about leading his shots as much. He is firing uphill, but he's making his connections. And now NYPD is on reload. Big Cheese. Big Cheese is able to perhaps put some fire in that direction.
Yeah,
Once Emily and Armor are down, then you have Hammer Time being able to take this one back into their control. But if they can't, then we're going to watch as Hammer Time slowly loses battle number 1.
Especially if they're taking significant hits coming from the tanks that are in the south, as Big Cheese and Photo Finish were focused on the north side. They have to turn their attention somewhere else. Overlord Prime and NYPD may have to be the backup tanks to focus on those northern section, that northern section with these 2 tanks still left alive. These RU-251s will punish any tank moving into that direction here.
Yes, but look right now, Overlord Prime shifts back into the east side of the map, and we're getting ready to watch T-32s get jumped on. Canadian Cracker, Triumph are going to move in right along the 6th line, fire from Emily and Armor down, well, up in the northwest. Photo Finish, Big Cheese are in a rough spot. They do not have a lot of options.
And Photo keeps taking hits, takes another one for 324, and there's no punishment happening for Penguin Mafia.
Yeah,
an adjustment has to be made by Hammer Time.
Yeah, Hammer Time just isn't set up. They've lost too many tanks. I don't know how they didn't do well in the west earlier, but now their follow-up after this, their attempt to recovery, just not working out. Penguin Mafia really is showing up today, and they are bringing some real play.
Practice does make a difference. Big bounce off Blaze 0, and Photo Finish finally goes down. That's going to be 3 tanks up against 6, and there's another one. 2 tanks remain for the defenders.
NYPD and Overlord trying to put fire on there, but I almost feel like their presence hasn't made an impact at all in this engagement. When we watched Big Cheese and we watched Photo Finish go down, I didn't feel like NYPD and Overlord Prime were really there. I wondered if they were like 1390s reloading and just waiting, kind of. But I know that NYPD was loaded, and I know that Overlord Prime is an RU, and so he reloads about every 4 seconds.
Canadian Cracker now pushing up. He's going to get closer to NYPD and Overlord Prime. Plenty of time for the attackers. They get the flag cap, not even engaging against remaining tanks, but they don't want to leave that open.
They also don't want to give more damage to Penguin Mafia if this somehow goes to a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Running away and hiding. I guess that's the mentality. You got 2 minutes 30 seconds. NYPD, I guess, can also try and take advantage of the high ground he has.
Overlord is hit from Lax. He's on the run.
Yeah,
Canadian Cracker from behind the 1390 will land 1 shot. He does not get a say, gets a second.
He'll have time for a 3rd even, I think.
And he waits. He waits for Overlord to fire and miss on the move, and he gets the kill. One tank remains, NYPD, who's about a high roll. No, he's 1 shot away from
He's 236. A low roll from the right tanks will fail to kill him.
Yeah.
But most of the time he should go down.
Most rolls will be able to hit it. And Canadian Cracker is going to move up closer. NYPD could still stay alive here. Canadian gets a shot for 227. Oh, and also a base capture. And Penguin Mafia puts the first point on the board against Hammer Time.
They finally practiced.
Yeah.
And, well, I think that what you have is a situation where Penguin Mafia is finally turning it around. I
think Leavestad is kicking himself now going, oh, why did I even mention that in the face-off?
Why did I say anything at all? Yeah, so this push from Penguin Mafia, I thought it was going to fail. Hammer Time looked to be in a strong position. They had the right tanks. They even had a good number of tanks just over in the northwest to support, while having support coming from the east. Those shells didn't connect, and that's where it fell apart. Hammer Time just didn't connect the shells to get the kills. They needed those. Because they couldn't, I mean, it's frustrating.
I know.
It shouldn't happen.
I know.
Gosh.
Now you know how I feel from the last series. It's frustrating for us to watch because the performance of tanks, since we're getting to the end of this season, and we don't mean to be harsh, but you're not going to take home a $171,000 prize pool if you perform this way on the battlefields.
If you miss, people are going to win. You're going to lose that battle.
Yeah, that's what's at stake. That is what's at stake for these teams, and they've got to put in the practice, they've got to put in the time, and they've got to land their shots and put in the execution efforts in order to get these victories. So everybody take a deep breath and recognize that nobody's perfect and that these teams are really trying the best that they can. But as my mentor as a child once said, do or do not, there is no try. And that's what these teams have to do on the battlefield. Battle number 2 is about to begin here between Hammer Time and Penguin Mafia. Penguin Mafia is up 1-0 right now. Randall, what do we have for tanks?
Well, just give me a second to recover. 2 Theater 2s, Object 416, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs for Hammer Time. That was beautiful, Josh.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. 2 T-32s, 2 RU-251s, T-49, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So we're seeing Hammer Time with an Object 416. It's weird. And then Canadian Cracker and the T-49 for Penguin Mafia. It's also weird. But I'm game. I mean, I'm down.
Hey, you know what? Let's throw that stuff out there. If this is the last shot that they're going to have.
I ain't going to judge.
All right.
You know, I ain't going to judge. You do what you want. It's free country. You know?
Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon, Armor, and Repressed Memory. You're now going to head to...
Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon, Armor?
Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon, Armor, and Repressed Memory are moving together.
No. Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon, Armor. And Repressed Memory.
Got it.
Yeah. No, think about it. If you added Armor to Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon. When you said it, I realized...
It's too much.
There's no such...
It's too much.
That's like adding avocado to a bacon cheeseburger. Yes, it seems like a lot. Yeah, you're going to have trouble finishing it, but you're going to have a really great time.
NYPD is lit up. He was spotted. He takes 2 hits and falls back. Repressed Memory and Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon have control of the east side, and now they're going to put tanks on the flag cap. Blaze Zero and Laxbra have held back along with Canadian Cracker.
A little curious that they do that, but I think I can understand. They're trying to work on the timing so that they don't become a focus.
Well, especially if Hammer Time did some sort of crazy up and over to hit those tanks on the flag cap, they could punish them because of it.
You said up and over?
If Big Cheese and Photo Finish moved across the train tracks to punish.
What about Drynitz up and over? Oh, Drynitz.
Oh.
I was depending
Bummer.
on it. Bummer.
And Q. And you're late.
I was like, do it. Go.
All right. Well, Hammer Time is taking control of the northern section, and Big Cheese is now being engaged upon from Laxbra and the rest of Penguin Mafia. 13 seconds left. Hammer Time's going to have to start landing their shots, and there's a reset happening.
But now 12 seconds. It's getting a little close there. We're seeing shots fired from NYPD, from Overlord Prime. Zazie, Drynitz, up and over, I think. And they're trying to put those onto the cap, and there are a few connections across the board. Everyone's getting peppered a little bit.
And now the fighting has stopped for a second as people are waiting on the reset. Big Cheese is hit for 213. It's a little bit back and forth, and now the tanks are moving away from the flag cap. So looking at what has happened overall, Penguin Mafia has an advantage about 222 hit points total.
Not bad. It's a good gain from this, but look at who's taken damage and notice that Armor's still healthy, Repressed Memory, Emily is also still healthy. Those 2 RUs could just go up and over or begin working on a flank. And I think they could really accomplish a few things here. They could also hold the north back while support fire stays further to the south where it's a little safer in ways.
Photo Finish hit again for 270.
Yeah, this is also a hold down game. Big Cheese.
Oh, Blaze Zero's low. So is Big Cheese, and Blaze Zero's the first to fall in that skirmish engagement. Now Overlord Prime's being punished from Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon.
Yeah, all the way to the west. He's actually taking fire from Hammer Time tanks all the way in Alpha 6. They've now broken off Nitz and Zazie to take on Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon. But that could work out for Penguin Mafia. If Penguin Mafia can pull those 2 tanks away from the rest of the group, I think an overmatch might be due right through the middle, and that could get results. Also, if Wolf Knife can get a few shells into Big Cheese, that would be fantastic. But Wolf Knife is now caught, and he is now taking a lot of damage.
A significant amount of damage here as Nitz and Zazie seal the deal against Wolf Knife, Laser Bacon. 2 tanks down for Penguin Mafia, and Hammer Time now has the advantage and tanks still left alive, all 7, as well as hit points.
Yeah, Penguin Mafia, I think they wasted so much potential right there. They didn't know that Nitz and Zazi were coming. They couldn't have called that. They didn't have the vision control. They didn't have the spotting. But wow, that could have worked out for so well for them.
At that time, possibly. Big Cheese now pushing up a little bit. Canadian Cracker taking significant damage. Photo Finish is hit for 210. So even though they still have tanks left alive, there goes Canadian Cracker. It's through 4 against 7 now.
Yep. Emily up on the high ground is covering this position.
Triumph is the next tank to fall. Overlord Prime seals that kill with a kiss of death.
Well, that's really a matter of time at this point. I mean, Penguin Mafia tried to make an attack work, and Hammer Time reacted well. They also had the opportunity of the fact that Penguin Mafia didn't take the extra step, didn't play this game one play ahead of Hammer Time. They were just right on par, and Hammer Time figured out when they had a moment how to get ahead, and they stayed that way.
All right, Laxbrow's now going to push up. Dryness and Photo Finish at NYPD. Clean him up and repress memory. On the hill, waiting for Hammer Time to come to him.
Her, him, I don't know.
That tank, that player. 2 minutes left.
It's just a confusing situation. I don't know. I don't know how to judge this. I don't know what pronouns to use.
Well, sometimes silence is the most powerful thing to say.
That doesn't make sense in this context, Josh.
Yes, it is.
Just nothing?
Silence is part of communication.
But like in this context, like with Emily.
Just waiting for Hammer Time to move in here. So looking at Penguin Mafia's aggression.
Yeah.
Were they too split apart? Were they too
It was really
focused on the north side?
It was an old strategy, really.
Yeah.
It was an outdated code, but it checks out. You know? That's pretty much what it was.
All right, Overlord Prime's going to engage here. He's going to take a hit. Well, Penguin Mafia, as the attackers, had one successful run. And now as they move on to the defenders here, see if Repress is going to try to take down NYPD. He can't get it. And he goes down. Hammer Time ties up the series 1-1.
There we go. Okay, so, you know, I just said it's an old code, but it checks out. Much the same situation.
Okay.
They take that ship right to the surface moon, and guess what? It's a trap.
Got it.
But this one, maybe Hammer Time, I can't give them credit for having a trap. They just knew exactly what to do once they figured out that it was an old code. It was actually a bunch of rebel spies who were here to shut down your, shield generator over your Death Star.
Got it.
Yeah. So.
Well, Penguin Mafia, this opening run, you look at where they try to punish the enemy team. They were landing a number of shots, but then the return fire, the trade started to really tip over to Hammer Time.
Yeah, I don't think that Penguin Mafia tried to pull something that Hammer Time wasn't going to be able to answer. When you're attacking, if you're going to put pressure on the cap, you need to put pressure on the cap that your opponent can't stop without receiving far more damage back at them. You know, it's if they can't, if you can't punish them for stopping cap, then you shouldn't be on cap, because really, unless you're trying to get something out of that, you're only paying hit points. And putting your tank in an open position, it doesn't accomplish anything. You have to realize what you're trying to do with every single tank at any single moment.
Yeah.
Every single individual player needs to understand what they're trying to accomplish.
Especially
all of these things need to be in mind.
Especially that moment, too. And I found this in World of Tanks sometimes, where I have to take a second and go, okay, where am I? Where's the enemy? Where are my teammates? If that happens too many times, you need to go back to the practice room and start getting back into the natural intuition of what to do when you're in these scenarios.
But I don't think we should be too hard on Penguin Mafia. They admitted that they weren't practicing as much, that they really weren't motivated because of the performance through the season. So really, that's them bringing an older strategy. They tried it. It doesn't work really anymore because most players have figured out the angles that had to be rediscovered in a way. And they're able to execute on them fairly easily.
Now they know. They had an educational experience. They'll continue to make adjustments as we move into battle number 3. Currently tied up 1-1 between Hammer Time and Penguin Mafia. Once again, Randall, what do we have for tanks?
Well, T-32, T-69, 1390, 2 RU-251s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs for Hammer Time. On the other side, we do have Penguin Mafia bringing 2 T-32s, 1390, 3 RU-251s, and an M44.
And there is that gorgeous beast of a tank, the T-32, the tank with no comms.
Look right behind it, though. Just past it. Look.
There's Canadian Mono.
Artillery.
And the arty has been brought. And there's a tweet coming in saying that the T-32 is the most well-rounded tank. Good when hold down, great DPM. It's very mobile as a Tier 8 heavy. Well, as a Tier 8 heavy, yes. It does have mobility, but it will not be the most mobile tank on the battlefield.
Of course, that's what light tanks are for. But that's why I favor the Pershing. Much like the T-32, it's very well-rounded. It's good in hull down, good DPM. Not the best DPM. It's got good pool of hit points, good armor. Not the greatest armor. You know, it's not the best really anything. Just good at a lot of things. Also, soft stats. This is something that Chieftain likes to bring up about American tanks, is that the things that you don't always notice, like gun depression, the exact placement of modules and everything on the turret, the way the armor is rounded, the things that you don't get to see. Because you see something has 100 millimeters of armor, what you have to pay attention to is how sloped is that? How sloped can I make it when I'm effective in combat? Notice how a T-32, when it's hull down, and I hope we get to show this one off in a little bit, when it's hull down, you'll notice that the angle of the front plate is a little bit flatter, right? As opposed to when you're looking straight down on it, it's much flatter, easier to pen, less rounded, but you angle that down, you put yourself below a little bit, just the way a T-32 going uphill's armor is angled. That's why it bounces everything. The angle is so better, how thick it is really, because the effective armor is so thick, shells just bounce. And not even that, the physics of a shell, when it hits an object that angled, it'll just ricochet as opposed to penetrate.
Give you an update of what's happening in the non-broadcasted match. Elevate is up 2-0 against Timed Out. And in this matchup right now, against Top Tier. Elevate 2-0 against Top Tier. Photo Finish takes a shot from a distance. That's the opening, and Artie fires, does not connect.
Nope.
There's another hit against Big Cheese, 460.
Shots fired. Canadian Cracker is spotted, but is able to back off in the north. And this is a little bit unique from Hammer Time. NYPD, Overlord Prime, Zazie, Nits.
Another shot fired.
All of them are hiding in Bravo 2 and 3 in a defilade, as opposed to the traditional high ground in Bravo 1 Alpha 1, where tankers will go to fire from. So I'm wondering what Hammer Time's going for. I pretty much, what are they doing? Why are they doing it like this, as opposed to other methods or other ways? Drynets is going to get on cap.
Yeah, I think they're being a little bit more cautious with that Artie there.
And now as Drynets gets on cap, he has to worry about artillery. Canadian Mono is nearly loaded, and I'm going to assume that he's looking at the cap right now. And he is going to fire.
Another shot fired. That one is close to Drynets, but it does not connect. And Hammer Time is ready and waiting for Penguin Mafia to peek out and try to punish Drynets here.
Yeah, but Canadian Mono has such a high fire rate that if he just continues to play Battleship here, he may be able to get the hit. He's going to fire again.
And too far.
Yeah, he's going for the most chosen places first, which are, of course, in bushes. Drynets can play a head game, but he has to remain rather close to the east side of the cap in order to not be spotted by anyone. So we can usually kind of say that those aren't possibilities. But now we've got Canadian Cracker going in. All he has to do is spot Drynets, and Canadian Mono is going to be able to get the reset. So Canadian Cracker doesn't even need to spot, or doesn't need to go all the way up and over, he just needs to spot him. And he's lit, Drynets is lit, Drynets is going to start moving. Mono zeroing on the position.
Yeah, a lot of movement coming here from Penguin Mafia to get closer to that flag cap with 34 seconds left. Drynets still dancing around, and the rest of Hammer Time are waiting for Penguin Mafia to make a connection, and Drynets does finally get hit for 233.
That's not by Canadian Mono, that's by everyone else on the high ground.
And now Armor's going to be punished because of it. 973 total in that volley, and Drynets will move away from the flag cap.
Punished? That's like brutalized. He loses almost all of his hit points, is nearly down, only lives by one shell because there's too many consistent fire tanks on the battlefield. They just don't have enough time. And that's working really well for Hammer Time. Hammer Time was looking a little beat up a moment ago, but now that they are able to start trading damage and trade evenly, hit points are getting close. And that Artie, Canadian Mono, while he can continue support, I think that if we see him go down, or we see everyone else go down, we're going to slowly watch him kind of stop being as effective. If we can see Hammer Time get closer to the train tracks, bring the fight there, where Canadian Mono is going to have trouble putting shells. So Hammer Time needs to close the distance.
Traded fire. Photo Finish takes another hit for 232. Penguin Mafia slowly looking for any opening to punish Hammer Time. With 1 minute and 30 seconds, the attackers have got to sweep in. Penguin Mafia is doing a fantastic job defending.
They are actually seeing some success. I'm betting though on Hammer Time's practice, familiarity with the map, experience coming in. Generally, they're judged to be of higher skill. But
yeah, they're the favored team in this matchup. Nobody's going to deny that.
Yes, and they are struggling right now against Penguin Mafia, who their practice is really paying off for this battle. I think they may have practiced, prepared for the opponent.
Here comes a push coming in from Hammer Time. Blaze Zero will be the first tank that they're targeting. They're going to continue to fire against the side of the tank as he's going to back up. Laxbra looking for an opening, but look at the beautiful play coming from Zazzy. Phono Finish takes him out. Laxbra now pushing up against NYPD. And Nitz gets a kill against Laxbra. Zazzy finally falls, and Overlord Prime is still engaging against Triumph the Insult. Comic
nice
Insult Tank,
focus.
I should say.
Nice focus fire keeps Overlord Prime alive a little longer, and even longer still. Repressed Memory Emery, just does not get the hit.
No, but there's 30 seconds left.
Okay.
There's 30 seconds left, and they still have Canadian Mono, who's on the run and far enough away to stay alive, and Repressed Memory is now flying back, getting away from the tanks with 20 seconds. Penguin Mafia still has a very strong chance of taking this battle.
And 1 for 266 into Emily. And then we have Nitz moving north, Big Cheese east, 58 damage onto Photo Finish.
Oh, nice shot from Photo. He needs another good one. If they can take down Canadian Mono at the same time.
293, there's chance he low rolls.
And he gets that one, but Canadian Mono does stay alive, and Penguin Mafia will win that battle and lead 2-1 as the defender. They will be able to defend one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And lucky for them, that one tank, that one Artie, who did only 290 damage, was the last tank left alive that gets the victory for Penguin Mafia. And you have to appreciate the push from Hammer Time, but again, poor time management, not pushing up in time.
And losing too many hit points, losing tanks when they really shouldn't. I think that while they do seem to be familiar experience with Prohorovka, Penguin Mafia is playing well, but this is a situation where I feel like both teams aren't very willing to just go at each other like a real, like a straight up.
There's hesitation on both sides for sure. Very heavy hesitation. It's almost palpable on the battlefield itself.
Yeah.
And both these teams are gonna have to break through that. If not, it's gonna be a lot of stop and starting, and starting.
I wasn't sure if you were feeling it too, because I was sitting there like, I don't know if it's just me.
I thought I was feeling it a bit between Simple Tinkers and Simply Irresistible, but it was more of just being punished and then trying to figure stuff out, and being punished and then working around that, then going for it.
Theirs wasn't hesitation. Theirs was slightly different in character in that one. I think this one's more, when you use the word hesitation, I feel like that hits it right on the nose.
Yeah, for both these teams on both sides here, probably because Hammer Time's a little bit stricken, knowing that Penguin Mafia is now leading 2-1. Yeah. But you can never underestimate any of these teams here in the Gold League. This is a prime example why.
There's a reason they got here.
Still anybody's game as we move into battle number 4 on Prohorovka. What do we have for tanks?
We have a T-32, 2 1390s, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs for Hammer Time. Penguin Mafia will have 2 T-32s, 1390, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So, very little variation. They traded out a 1390 for a T-32 in this instance. And the opening moves, Drynitz heading down the middle. Is going to make the opening scout run. Well, it looks like everyone else from Hammer Time is going to head west. Maybe a very old school one-line push kind of a deal, where they take that hidden route, as it were. But with Armor and Emily making their route, I'm afraid for Drynitz. I thought maybe they were going to jump on him, but this is more of an opening move to counter out that mid-push we see a lot, where teams will go up and over that Simple Tanker style. And they're trying to protect their T-32s. Kind of playing, what is the escort in air combat? You know, you've got a bomber squadron in flight.
Fighter escort.
Fighter escort. That's saying escort by itself. I guess you would make a funny face.
No, I didn't make a funny face. I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you made a funny face. Never mind.
No, just watching Penguin Mafia move around.
Okay. And
you are weird.
I am weird. That's the whole. Like,
I think we're just getting a little bit not tilted, but trying to adjust to what's happening on the battlefield between these two teams. Yeah. So right now, Penguin Mafia has now forced all their teams into the southwest,
They're looking
While Penguin
for...
Mafia has a standard play when it comes to defense.
Yeah, this is going to waste about a minute for Hammer Time. They're going to sit there, look for something, realize, wait, they're not here. We do have some spotting on the far east, confusing, which is just outside of some players' draw range, but Blaze will kind of drift in and out of that. And
now Blaze gets hit.
And it's by photo finish, by the way, instead of someone else who was
Now photo finish is hit, so the trade fire continues between both teams.
Yeah, Triumph and Mono over there in the M41s are able to put out quite a lot of fire, so instead of going for Crater Pen or going for a bigger hit, just getting one where you hit the gun, not the gun, the commander's hatch, his cupola. Actually get a little damage in there.
It's always fun when you get a penetrating shot against that commander's hatch, because you go, ha, you thought you were safe. Well, you're not. That bounced around inside your tank for a little bit of damage, now you have to fall back. Penguin Mafia continues to hold. Hammer Time continues to dance back and forth, trying to figure out how to break through these defenses. And as you mentioned, the tank lineup is slightly different for Penguin Mafia, no Artie. So Hammer Time doesn't have to contend with that, but...
I think they're going to put Zazzy on the cap. Just throw him on the cap and screen it or cover it. Usually cover fire ends in defender shows up, defender stops cap, fight breaks out, someone wins, or lots of damage is dealt, people back off, especially if you have a fight like this where I think they'll send one tank in as opposed to all of their tanks. And actually, wait, is that a trap?
Depends if they're able to spring it in time. Zazie.
Triumph and Mono moving in from the south. This right here could be a trap. Could turn out to just be really a wall being put up because you have two T-32s moving in. Canadian Mono, Triumph, 4 against the current 4 Drynets, Nits, Overlord Prime, Photo Finish, and now NYPD moving in, recognizing the overmatch. So we're gonna have an all-in from Hammer Time into the south, right into these T-32s and M41s. After that, then they'll deal with Canadian Cracker, Armor, and Emily.
Yeah, they can definitely sweep to the north after that. Blaze Zero is very low. As he continues to push forward, he is targeted by Hammer Time. He is one shot away from falling. Armor takes down Zazie first, though, and Overlord Prime takes a hit. But now Drynet's pushed up, and NYPD takes down Blaze Zero. The engagement continues as Penguin Mafia is going to move into the attacking Hammer Time tanks, and Drynet's is low after Canadian Mono does get taken down. Drynet's is the next to fall. The rest of Penguin Mafia and Hammer Time have moved in, and Hammer Time is performing excellent focus fire against Penguin Mafia. 3 tanks still in the mix here for PM, and Repressed Memory is the next to fall. Armor misses a big shot against Big Cheese, which could have been a killing blow. Canadian Cracker on the reload, 2 against 5. Hammer Time is close to taking this battle and tying up the series.
Yeah, they do. Armor, still rather healthy, gets to play around for a little while, so we're going to get to see these guys just on the move, light tank brawling, which is, I think, just a lot of fun, really.
It's definitely a lot of fun. It's been the staple of Pro Heroica in the past. And we've seen a shift more to the T-32 map control. Armor is in trouble. Overlord Prime ready for another shot. Gets it for 326. And Armor misses the shot against Overlord Prime, who backed up just in time. And that's it for Armor. And that's it for Canadian Cracker. And that's it for that battle. Hammer Time ties it up 2-2 as we'll move into Ruinberg, the first map we're going to see tonight between these two teams.
Nice. Ruinberg can be a lot of fun. I don't know how Penguin Mafia can handle it, but if they imitate maybe the way Timed Out did against that was Simp in the past, then, you know, just taking strong lineups, not allowing yourself to get bullied too hard, putting some tanks in the right spots and covering them. We could be moving on to a kind of that same theme where the team that is not expected to do well might just be able to surprise us.
That happened a number of times during this season. But looking at the opening run, or the overall run from Penguin Mafia, just the focus fire from Hammer Time due to the amount of tanks in that position ready to fight created just almost a sweeping effect of hit point damage when every tank was rolling in coming from Penguin Mafia. Now, it wasn't just a straight up 1-by-1-by-1, obviously, but they knew who to focus fire, they did it, and then the rest fell.
It's probably one of the most simple situations you'll run into as Hammer Time. You have an overmatch and you're just going to focus fire. So you take out the healthy tanks, yes. You take out the M41s, yeah. And then everything else shows up. I don't think Hammer Time really ran into too many issues there where they had to worry about difficult decisions to make. It was more of a, well, which one can we focus the best right now? Because choosing between the T-32s and the M41s is really just a choice of which is the most available and which can we take down more quickly and will end up working out better in the long run. Because the M41s, if you take them out instantly, they don't get all their damage out. If you take the T32s out, then those M41s get the damage. It's a weird trade-off. I think M41s then T32s. Easy from there. Focus everything.
All right. Well, Ruinberg is going to the map, and battle number 5 currently tied 2-2 between Hammer Time and Penguin Mafia. Penguin Mafia will be on the defense. Randall, what do we have for tanks?
Well, we have two 5100s, two IS-3s, a 1390 RU-251, and a T-37 for Hammer Time, the red team attacking. Defending, Penguin Mafia decides to bring two 5100s, two IS-3s, a 1390, and two M41 Walker Bulldogs.
Take a look at the opening movements from both teams. As Penguin Mafia, the defenders have split.
So right before we're able to get into any kind of opening moves here, from Shifty Jam, a question for you, Rootkill and Clutch. What's the most unconventional tank that a team has used effectively in WGLNA 754 format? E25. Easy. That's my answer. Yours?
I mean, it's really tough to answer that question, Shifty, because what pops in my mind is like a KV5 or a 110, but they're not as unconventional as they were when we first saw them.
So real quick, right now we do have a little bit of fire being traded.
And armor goes down.
Zazie is taking fire in reply. He will, I expect, go down momentarily. And then we can return, of course, to your question in a moment once we get time. But there we go. Zazie traded out for armor. But Laxbraw's taking damage. Canadian Mono's taking damage. Looking at the hit points, it is in favor of Hammer Time still, as no other tanks have taken damage. They've only lost Zazie. So I don't also agree necessarily with that position, but I think we're going to have a lull in the fight. Real quick, you were talking about the KV5, Josh.
Yeah, unconventional is just, it's a tough word to try to answer. That word brings in a really tough kind of line of questioning to answer. To me, it's not as common or not as popular, maybe, but every tank has a certain convention that it brings to the table, a certain niche, a certain result.
But, like, what about the ones
I mean, the E25, I would totally agree with you. Unfortunately, I was not here.
Oh, you saw it earlier. You saw the attempts.
I did definitely see it
the same mentality earlier. So,
sure.
So
I'll go with the E25, and I will go with Yag Tiger, Yag Panther that's been brought a couple times that have been effective occasionally in 7x42, but that's not 7x54. More fire being traded by both teams. Canadian Cracker is very low. So falling here.
And Overlord Prime also having taken a lot of damage, so is Big Cheese. Two tanks at about half health. If you look at the hit points right now, still, though, in favor of Hammer Time. They're taking a lot of damage, but they're putting it right back in the faces of Penguin Mafia. You've got Mono is very, very low. Laxraw, low. Blaze 0, not sitting pretty.
And Triumph, the 1390, is one of the biggest targets that Hammer Time has to be cautious of. But if somebody counted the amount of shots he has left, know that he is reloading. NYPD takes down Blaze 0. Laxbra and Repressed Memory are hanging back here with Canadian Mono and Triumph. And now Triumph takes a big shot for 419.
And here comes Laxbra right onto Drynets. It's going to circle strafe. Exactly at the same time, Emily is moving in to put fire onto Drynets as well. Puts a little bit on there, but not enough. Drynets has support. He has friends backing him up.
You see the slow, methodical crawl of tanks from Hammer Time pushing up against the defending Penguin Mafia. Triumph is down. 2 tanks remain for Penguin as Hammer Time continues to push forward. Canadian Mono is targeted, but NYPD takes a shot. His track is destroyed, but he repairs. And Repressed, last tank alive here. Drynets pushes up, and that's it. Hammer Time now takes the lead 3-2. Penguin Mafia tried to defend in the Delta Village, but Hammer Time was too strong.
Yeah, that village can be so tricky. I mean, you've got so many buildings, you can barely even see around every single corner because you just can't even get your camera there. I mean, have you ever tried that? Like, you're trying to zoom your camera in third person, trying to get that. Is there someone on the corner? Is he looking at me?
And then it'll zoom into the building real quick, and you're like, oh, come on, I'm trying to see it.
Yeah, the same thing will happen to me when I'm in, the winter mode? Because I like to dig myself a hole in the middle of the map. Because have you played winter mode?
No, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, dude, okay. 3 tanks.
I want to. As soon as I have time. Do you have any spare time I can borrow?
Yes, I'll give it to you after the broadcast.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. So I got into it and I started digging out holes, and I realized with the Mammoth you can artillery fire if you auto aim at stuff. And then I ran into this problem continually, where I
Wow.
kept digging myself the hole so I had the area in front. When I would zoom out in third person, I would hit the brick behind me, and I'd just be annoyed. And I just remembered that, because it's like you have to pay
Yeah.
attention to what's behind you.
No,
You
you
can't
definitely
zoom
do.
out farther than that, because you can't be inside the building in third person. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, you definitely got to pay attention to that.
Mm.
Only one tank was destroyed, Zazie, in that last battle, as Hammer Time has the lead 3-2. So with Ruinberg, too, as the attackers, it's significant. Defensively, Penguin Mafia has to do something differently. The north side usually goes for the Delta Village as they pass over the TIE Fighter. We call it the TIE Fighter because that northeastern position looks like a TIE Fighter on its axis, kind of flying through
We
space.
also have to be big fans.
Yes, 50 seconds left, though, for the tanks here, Randall. So what do we have for tank selection?
All right, so we've got two 5100s either side, two IS-3s either side, 1390 either side. But then Hammer Time goes for the extra tier 8 and a tier 6 with Overlord Prime and Nits in an RU-251 and a T-37, where Armor and Repressed are going to be an M41s, going for the 2 tier 7 lineup, which, you know, just you see the trade-off right there. I like the M41s. I'm really starting to love them. I think they could stand up to a lot of tier 8s.
Do you prefer the consistent fire or the autoloader?
I've learned that I love the autoloader. In the format. In pubs, I might opt for something different, but I'm not sure, because I don't have enough battles in pubs with it, with either gun, to really feel like I can make a strong decision yet. It's one of those situational things. It works very well in certain play styles as well, as opposed to others. If you want to get into an engagement, you just want to tear someone apart.
Oh, careful, Zazie.
Oh, he's so aggressive with this.
Yeah, he is, and he punishes Armor because of it. And Armor is now at half health.
Two more.
Zazie takes one hit from an M41.
Why would you even flinch from that? You just make your final connection, Armor's going to go down.
And one more shot, and Armor could fall. And Repressed Memory now getting targeted as well. Two tanks close to falling here for Penguin Mafia.
And Overlord Prime does take a volley of fire, which will punish him and force him to move back a little bit. Armor has moved into the lowest ground he can find.
Fires back towards Triumph for 216.
Wait, was that? Did Armor just fire at Triumph?
That's Overlord Prime.
Okay, just I thought Armor fired at Triumph for a moment, because it was I saw the shell
Same
go that
time?
way.
No,
Yeah, same time.
That was Overlord Prime.
Okay, so Armor is barely up. Emily doing fine, which a little curious actually, that Armor is where Armor is, and Emily is where Emily is. Anyway, I think they should flip.
Zazie's in trouble. He's getting surrounded, and Hammer Time's nowhere to be found to return fire. Now, finally, Canadian Cracker takes a hit. They were focused too much on Armor and the rest of the tanks in the south, and Zazie stays alive for 1 second longer, and then Repressed Memory Emily
You
takes down
jinxed him,
Zazie.
Josh. You jinxed him.
It was happenstance. Overlord Prime takes another hit for 159. This is where Hammer Time has to shift away from those tanks that are guaranteed kills. I know it's really tough, but they have to be mindful of the danger coming from the Delta Village. Nits is going to continue to punish Canadian Mono if he can. Canadian Mono now reloading, pulling back. Laxbra, oh, there goes Armor, finally. And Blaze Zero takes a big hit for 384. Laxbra still in the Delta Village with the most. He has all his hit points, I believe.
Prime,
full
by the way,
shots.
22 hit points, managed to barely get out. Emily wasted the rest of the shells. NYPD, though, I'm curious as to why NYPD hasn't moved up for one reason or another to put in some support fire. Or at least as NYPD and Big Cheese, I think, could just take the south, and the rest of the team right now from Hammer Time could just take the mid, and you'd win. At least that's what it seems like to me. So I think Hammer Time has the lead hit points. Time, you got time to burn, right? 4 minutes? Time to burn.
Enough time to burn for the defenders,
Yeah. So
for sure.
enough time to burn for the attackers too. I mean, 4 minutes, plenty of time to get the win. So now they're just gonna, I guess, try to go for it with as much efficiency as possible. Or they could be hesitating again, not knowing what to expect from Penguin Mafia, a team that hasn't gotten a lot of attention this season.
The countdown continues. 3 minutes and 40 seconds for Hammer Time to move up. And this is where it gets a little bit dicey for any of the attackers thinking, oh, we have plenty of time. You never have plenty of time. You don't.
Fair.
You have time enough to call a strategy and then execute that strategy.
No, they have time. Nits will get up to cap. Overlord goes to cap. Then screen photo finish dry Nits across the mid. They can't move all the way across the map and do the engagement.
Big Cheese hit for 479.
Big Cheese needs to... I'm a little actually bothered that Big Cheese has stayed where he is.
Yeah, because NYPD's there.
He keeps taking damage. That's really it.
Well, but NYPD is not able to return fire against these 5100s that are punishing Big Cheese. He doesn't have the angle for it. And so Big Cheese has to move from that angle, or he's pushing against memory for
something else
sacrificial kill.
Penguin Mafia might not even know that Nitz is on the north cap because they might not be able to spot it yet. Oh wait, I think they now. Okay.
No, they'll know. Laxbrow's heading to the north, the long way.
Long way works. You're going to get there, and you're actually going to be able to stop the cap.
There goes Blaze 0. Still only one tank has been destroyed on the side of Hammer Time. 4 remain for Penguin Mafia.
Photo finish on the high ground. He's going to keep back Mono and Insult. He will probably go down to the focus fire, but they might be able to punish Mono. Let's see. There. 1 for 315. Photo finish will have enough time to get one more shell in, but Drynitz. That's Drynitz getting the kill. But
okay, Mono now. Drynitz is under heavy fire from Triumph. Triumph being engaged from the other side of the map as Laxbrow's going to push in against the flag cap. Nitz could have it, and that is a kill for 2 of Penguin Mafia. And Laxbrow is going to be able to take down Nitz, no problem.
Big Cheese, in the meantime, is moving up from the south. With him, NYPD. NYPD has 4 shells. And now Laxbrow can try and play for time.
Yep.
But you can see Drynitz going to cap.
And there goes Triumph. And Laxbrow has 1 minute and 30 seconds to avoid Hammer Time.
The cap. I think the cap, there's enough time.
There's enough time. NYPD and Big Cheese get on top of it. They'll be fine.
But Laxbrow can win this by getting a reset and escaping. So approach from the south makes the most sense. Your opponent, look at the angle of the hill.
He can't get there in 26 seconds.
Oh, no. His route was wrong for that.
Yep.
Although I don't think he chose that after knowing the cap was a thing. I think he chose it trying to be safe, and, well, everyone else on the map died a little quicker than he had hoped. So now Laxbrow, with not a whole lot of time, has not a whole lot of options.
5 seconds left until Hammer Time will take a significant lead against Penguin Mafia. 2-1, and Laxbrow cannot get there in time. 40 seconds left to spare for Hammer Time to actually get that flag cap.
All right. And in the meantime, by the way, update on the off broadcast. Elevate versus Top Tier is 4-1 in favor of Elevate right now. Just got that update. That's the recent as of seconds ago.
Top tier team that I would say in season 3, if it was Top Tier versus Bernal Empires, Top Tier would be the favorable team.
I would agree. I would also agree. Except this season, Top Tier is not looking nearly as good.
No, they're not.
Elevate is looking really good right now.
They are looking great.
I put them right there along the lines of Fear and I Love Lamp. Those teams where, of course, Elevate has more experience in such, but that kind of thing. But we can, of course, talk about that another time when we see Elevate in the future, because I'm sure we will. So back to Hammer Time and Penguin Mafia here. This defense by Penguin Mafia, what did it try to accomplish?
Nothing.
Yeah, it kind of just was passive.
Absolutely nothing for Penguin Mafia.
Yeah, it was very reactive. It was very passive. It had strong crossfires, but I didn't see any attempts by Penguin Mafia to pull anything to attain victory. They simply were waiting for Hammer Time to make a mistake, but World of Tanks is slowly becoming a game, or the league is slowly becoming a place where it's not mistakes that are made, it's opportunities created and exploitation.
And you have to be able to have those opportunities open up for you. Now, Penguin Mafia was going for the Delta Village again, and their 5100s were doing significant damage towards the beginning, but that push to the south from Armor and the rest of those tanks, they're cut off. They stay alive for a significant amount of time, but they really can't do much down there. And so that leaves the northern section completely open. So it's a tough call for Penguin Mafia. They're still in the fight. Hammer Time is one battle away from taking the series, but as we've learned, as you will learn in life, don't underestimate your opponents. Randall, what do we have for tanks?
Well, we've got a 110, two 5100s, two IS-3s, RU-251, and T-37 for Hammer Time, the red team now defending. Penguin Mafia will bring a single 5100, two IS-3s, 1390, two RU-251s, to round it out, a T-37. And for opening moves, photo finish, head straight for the crossroads. Exactly what I'd like to see. He mounts the 100 mil, by the way. I also recommend that. 122, meh. It's a meh gun. I get it if you want to
Yeah.
bring it, but I mean,
Oh, look at that opening. Look at that opening fire hitting Zazie to the front, and Armor takes return fire. Liebestad is okay.
Armor's not okay. Armor's doing very badly right now. He's in a lot of pain. He needs help. And it looks like they're going to move in straight for Zazie.
Yeah, they want to get that guaranteed kill, but Armor's going to get continually punished by it. Can Zazie actually hold and get the kill? He could. No, Laxbra from the distant shot gets the kill.
And Liebestad, though, moving in an IS-3 is going to be able to just really put the hurt on any member of Penguin Mafia that he finds around the corner.
Look at the long game that Overlord Prime is playing here. Laxbra sees him coming, though, and he's going to punish Overlord Prime. And this is going to be real tough for Hammer Time to recover from this, though, because they're starting to lose tanks.
Yeah, Overlord Prime, I think him playing around the backfield had some merit. He will go down, though, and that's a wasted tank for Hammer Time. Penguin Mafia is looking great right now. They do not have a lead in hit points, but they do
They have
have
lead
more
in tanks that are still left alive.
They've got guns in the battlefield.
And Photo Finish takes down Armor, so that lead slightly diminished. NYPD is going to be focused, but look at the HP sharing happening from Dryness and NYPD right now. Photo Finish and Big Cheese, if they do move into this engagement, they will be under fire from Canadian, Mono, or Laxbra, but they could move in at the right time to punish these tanks that are so focused on the 5100s.
NYPD comes around the corner, not able to make the connection to Canadian. And now the support fire is actually kind of forcing his head down.
And finally, Canadian Cracker does fall. There goes NYPD. Big Cheese and Photo Finish moved in from behind. Laxbra not able to punish these IS-3s. And Blaze Zero and Triumph are now in trouble. They're surrounded. What was once in favor of Penguin Mafia has now shifted gears over to Hammer Time. But Laxbra has full shots, and he's ready to deal some damage.
Well,
there's too many tanks on the field.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Because as he comes around the corner, there's Liebestad, there's Photo Finish, and that's a bounce. And now follow-up is not going to be pretty.
And there goes Laxbra. Drynitz, however, gets taken down by Canadian Mono. A nice little hey, how you doing coming from Penguin Mafia, and that's it. Hammer Time takes the series 5-2. We saw Penguin Mafia try some older strategies. We saw them try to hold to what worked for them, but unfortunately, Hammer Time was a couple steps ahead.
More practice, more practice, more experienced, everything. Just Penguin Mafia did, though, take two off them. I can give them that. I expected less. To be honest, I expect Hammer Time to really show up and dominate, but Penguin Mafia did kind of force Hammer Time to take a step back and really, not be able to start with a lot of momentum. They were on the back foot after battle number 1.
In hindsight 2020, if Penguin Mafia had a stricter practice regimen, then maybe it would have been different throughout the entire season. However, they still took 2 off Hammer Time. Hammer Time had to fight for it, and that's what Penguin Mafia, as they said in the face-off, wanted to accomplish, and they did it. So good for them, and if we don't see them in any more broadcasts for Season 5, we wish them all the best luck in the future. Well, we're 3 matches down. We have 1 match left to go, Randall, and that is Roulette versus Simp, which will begin after this. Stay tuned.